Recording in progress.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, seeing as that is 6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and start promptly. And I will call this meeting to order. So first off, if I'd like to ask everyone to rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank y'all so much. So moving on, I'd like to introduce our staff and our board members tonight.
Rima Abdel Fattah, City Staff.
Diana Wheeler, Community Development Department.
Samia Coker, Cheltenham Walk.
Ken Warlick, Kipworth Road.
Danielle Gagney, Morning Mountain Way.
David Jackson, Bethany Way.
All right, great. Moving on. So three for tonight's agenda. Can I get a motion for approval and or amendment of the agenda for tonight?
Make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion for approval and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous. Okay. Can I get an approval and or amendment of the meeting minutes from last meeting, which was September 2nd?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from the last DRB meeting on September 2nd, 2025.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's unanimous. All right, let's jump right into it tonight. We're going to go to demolition of structures. So actually, no, excuse me. Demolition of structures. So 5As, 3350 Hamby Road.
Well, the applicant is not here yet, so
Okay.
I think we're going to make a motion to defer and move on to item 5B.
Okay. So seeing that the applicant is not here, that is a requirement. I will make a motion to defer 5A. Do we move that to the back or we just move it to the end of demolition of structures?
To the end of the agenda.
Yes, to the end of the agenda. Maybe we'll give him some time to
Okay.
arrive a little bit later.
All right, so then I'll make a motion to move 5A to the end of tonight's agenda by the time we get to new business 8A.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion to defer and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous. Okay, so moving on, 5B, 16520 Phillips Road.
Okay, 16520 Phillips Road. So the applicant is Isabel Nava, and they are requesting to demolish an existing single-family home to build a new home, which is going to be approximately 5,000 square feet. It's in the AG1 zoning district, and the existing use is residential. So here's an aerial view, just a little north of Mountain Road, right off of Phillips. Here's the site plan. And a close-up of the site plan, and you can see I circled the structure to be demolished in red. And these are the photos I have of the house, so the front and the back of the house. It's rather small. It's 768 square feet. It was built in 1969. Does not carry any historic designation under City of Milton or state federal guidelines. Just some supplemental information. It's not located in a flood zone. According to the site plan, no trees are to be removed during the demolition process. And then they do have a land disturbance permit submitted for this project, and it is still currently in plan review. So staff does recommend approval of the demolition per the site plan with the following conditions: to complete the demo permit application, level and grass the area that was disturbed, and then no trees to be removed without a permit. Any questions?
Do we have any questions for Rima? No? All right, thank you.
The
Seeing
applicant
none,
is here.
ask the applicant to come forward, please. If there's anything you've got to add to that.
Hi, no, thank you.
Great. Just for the record, state your name and address if you don't mind.
Daniel Guzman.
Great, thank you. All right, any questions for the applicant? No, seeing none, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll open it up for public comment.
We have none.
We have none, okay, then I will close public comment. Any board discussion? No, seeing none, okay. Then seeing none, I will call for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve demolition at 16520 Phillips Road.
I'll second.
We have a motion for a approval and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, congrats, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. We have no courtesy reviews tonight, so we'll move on to 7A. Final reviews, 12475 and 12505 Broadwell Road. This is Heartwood. It's a site and landscape review.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This next item concerns the property that you see highlighted in red up on the screen. It is a final review of a site plan that you may recall from your meeting last month. It's just over 7 acres in size, and it's located on Broadwell Road. Consists of 2 properties that are the subject of a redevelopment. And at your last meeting, there were comments made about the plans that were submitted. And we've identified those comments specifically and the way that the applicant has responded to them. First, there was a question about providing additional vegetative screening along the north side of the property to provide some privacy to the adjacent residents. And the applicant is showing additional ligustrum plantings on the landscape plan, and we'll look at that plan in just a minute. There was a concern about securing the trees on the slope, and they've added some additional landscape details to the plans to show that. There was a discussion about matching trees from across the road. However, the arborist has indicated that there are some overhead utility lines and asked that in order to avoid the overhead power lines, that the maple trees be utilized. And so that was the specific reason why they chose that plant material. We had also identified the fact that they had lighting that was not code compliant, and they've changed the plans to identify the Granville light fixture, which is in fact code compliant. There was concern about drainage on the north side of the property, and they've added 2 drainage inlets to address that issue. And then finally, there was a comment about looking for ways to add on-street parking. But the applicant feels that because of the requirements for sidewalks, landscaping, and other issues, particularly with the fact that there is a buffer, a stream buffer to the rear of the property, that they felt they had too many constraints and couldn't provide the additional on-street parking, but they do have some additional on-site parking for guests. And so you may recall this is a portion of that site plan. And you see on the left side, although it's hard to read, this is the additional planting that was proposed. And these are the trees along the bank that had been discussed previously. This is just a rendering, very preliminary, and obviously something that you will have to see in greater detail in the future. And this is the grading and the site plan. The intent is to show that the changes that were made here, and the applicant can get into some more detail in the discussion if you have specific questions. The landscape plan shows the changes, again, with the planting material, and this Amur maple is the street tree that they had proposed and the arborist had accepted. And then finally, this is the lighting plan with a revision for the Granville type light, as opposed to the other light, which you may recall was a very contemporary fixture. So at this point, I will invite Mr. Kerr, the engineer from Kimley Horn, to come and address any questions or make his presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have anything to add, but open to questions.
All right, great, thank you. Do we have any questions for for the applicant.
Can you show us where that added parking is on the site plan?
So the parking internal to the site, there's some parking here.
Oh, sorry.
Are you able to see that?
No, can we switch it to the site plan?
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
So there's some parking in this location,
Mhm.
and then there's also some on-street parking as well.
What other questions do we have?
For, I don't know which comment that was, but where we had asked to take a look at the location and the tree type for the other side of Broadwell, were you able to stagger the location, or are you guys mimicking it?
Yeah, they should be lined up
Okay,
across the street.
okay, so
with
they'll
the
have the same
existing trees.
spacing then?
Correct.
Okay.
Will those power lines be more than 15 foot from the front facade of the home?
I don't know the exact distance, to be honest with you.
Okay. Just curious, we had one beforehand and they were like 15.6 and we had to go underground because they were so close. Just curious if you'd ran into that with, I'm assuming Georgia Power, or is it Sawney?
Yeah, so it would be the utility provider that would determine that distance
Okay.
requirement, and if they had to be protected or anything during construction.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any other questions? Not at the moment.
I'm looking for the north side screening.
So it's on page C2, page C201. Yes, right there.
Oh, okay.
Could you show on the site plan where the two new drainage areas are? I think that was the big discussion from the community last time.
Yeah, so this actually doesn't show. Let me go back. Let me find. Oh, here it is. So what we've done, actually, which we think is a better solution, is it's kind of like a 2-in-1. So it previously was a single inlet, probably about middle of this last lot. So what we did was we moved it to the end and we made it a curb inlet. So it's basically it's a great inlet as it was before, but it's also got a curb opening so that the leaves don't, in the fall or foliage or whatever, doesn't block the
it.
grate. So it's got a much bigger, 4-inch opening to allow the debris to get in and continue flowing. So that was the solution that we came up with.
Is there anything on the right side of the plan for any stormwater? Or is it all going to be collected on the left side of the plan?
There are multiple inlets. So if we go back to the original, you can see there's an inlet to the right or the south of the kind of new public road. There's one right before the public road, and then there's a few actually on the left side as well.
Okay.
So there's more than just that one.
Great. So all that stormwater will be collected in that area and then flow to the back of the property?
Correct.
Okay, great.
And I missed it, but you had said, it looks like the response is saying that 2 inlets were added.
There's a total of, I guess, 2, if that's what you want to call it. It's kind of like a combination, like I mentioned.
Okay, so There's 2 total or 2 that were added from the previous submittal?
Well, there's more than 2 total. There were not 2 added. One was relocated and it was kind of changed, but there were not 2 added, no.
Okay, that's just what it says here. That's why I'm trying to clarify it. So one was added and one was revised to be the curb inlet, is that correct?
Correct. Mhm.
Bills.
That's all I got.
No, I think I'm,
Let's do this. If you've got anything else or you've got nothing else to add?
I don't have anything else to add.
Okay.
no.
So let's, we'll see if we have any more questions as stuff comes up, but let's go ahead and let's call up for public comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have none.
Okay, let's close public comment. Any discussion?
I think the main discussion from last month was the stormwater,
Yeah,
and that's what they wanted to know.
yeah, I agree.
And I think if the engineers have done the due diligence, I think that would help put the community's mind at ease.
Yep,
So-
I agree. Yeah, and with the exception of the parking, which I totally understand, it's
Right.
not required or anything like that, but I think that they made a good effort to do kind of, or at least address the comments and stuff like that that we had, and then also that the
Mm-hmm.
citizens had concerns, so I'm okay with that. Other discussion? Okay. So seeing no more discussion, I will call for a motion.
I'll make a motion, I'll make a motion to approve the final review of item 7A, 12475 and 12505 Broadwell Road.
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion for approval and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is unanimous. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right. So moving on. So seeing as that was it, I'll call for one last, for 8A new business is the applicant of 3350 Hamby Road here.
The applicant messaged us that he is on his way. He is stuck in traffic and asked if we could present this on his behalf. The board has a choice of either moving forward with this case or deferring it till next month because we obviously are not in a position to wait 30 minutes until he gets here.
Yeah, so I'll call it for, I'll open it up for a motion. In my opinion, though, is the meeting starts at 6 o'clock. It's pretty prompt, and it's also a requirement of having at least the applicant available and present during their hearing. So for me, I would say that to me, I would recommend defer. So any other discussion?
I agree.
Okay. So with that said, I will make a motion to defer 3350 Hamby Road to next month's agenda.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. All right. Seeing no new business, 9A no business, 10 would be adjournment. I will make a motion to adjourn this DRB hearing.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. All right, great. Thank you, guys. That was quick.
Thank you.